Okay, so now I'm recording. I've got Zoom here. I'm hoping I can make videos with this software. Oh, touch my face. I'm infected with COVID, with SARS-CoV-2 now. Kidding aside though, the last video I did was a introduction to the hardware I'm going to need for this test. So let's dive in and take a look at the software. So I'm going to start a screen share here, and we'll start with me sharing GNS3, which is a really important application I'm going to be using, and I'll dive into some more detail about how I'm going to be using it. But you can see I've got these icons here. I've got two icons, and then it's connected to another two icons. So if you're completely unfamiliar with Junipers, but you're familiar with Cisco's, it might be a good first question to ask. Why do you need two icons when I use a Cisco image in GNS3? You can see I have some here. You only need to put in one icon to make it work. Well, the answer to that is Juniper has a pretty nice feature where the control plane and pane and the forwarding pane are different devices essentially, and they're wired together through a link. So when you buy a Juniper device, yeah, you just get one form factor, one device, but inside that device, there's basically two devices and they're connected by an internal link. So your SSH sessions, your what else? Just any control traffic is going to be in the control pane, and then all of your routing table, that sort of thing, is going to be in the forwarding pane. So you can see here we've got a control pane and a forwarding pane. So if you want to get to the command line, guess which one you've got to open up? You've got to open up the control plane, of course. So you can see when I open that up, it pops up really nicely. Please move this away from shared. Please move this window away from the shared application. Oh, okay, well, I want to share this as well. Let's see here, new share. So I'm going to switch my sharing over. So now I'm sharing the terminal screen, and you can see when I hit enter, there we go, just perfect. I've already been doing a little bit of studying. Speaking a little bit to my strategy, it's been to just cut the curriculum down into sections and then just focus section by section using the free materials, study materials available through the Juniper the Juniper feature guides online. That's been my strategy, and I already made it through layer 3 VPNs. So now I'm working on the layer 2 VPN section. So unfortunately, this video series, probably I might not get to layer 3 VPNs, we'll see, but I'm definitely going to start with kind of where I left off in my own self-study before starting this. But you can see I'm all ready to go. I've got a great lab. I can go into more detail about what it takes to set this up. But screen sharing has stopped as the shared window is closed. Okay, so I'll share GNS again, and I'll show you, because each of these takes 4 gigs of RAM to run. So you really do need that server hardware that I showed before. This exam, when I say it's the highest level expert exam, I mean you've got to buy gear, you've got to fly on a plane to take it in a special testing facility, you've got to pay exorbitant amounts, but hopefully you've got an employer who's incentivized in you getting it that can help you go and get it. So yeah, this is for anyone who didn't know kind of the nature of what I was actually going for with this. This is definitely a very high level exam, kind of akin to the kind of thing you would do if you were actually at a university or something like that. So this is pretty high level education, but it's quite a bit different from a university or something because it's completely autodidactical. You really have to do your own learning. You have to make your own study plan. You can sign up for courses and stuff, especially for the Cisco track, but the Juniper track, unfortunately, doesn't even have a lot of that. So it's really completely autodidactical. You're completely on your own. You've got to make your own way. And I think that's exciting because I had certain experiences in university, some good experiences. But unfortunately for me, my overall experience in the university was not one that led to me graduating or even really having a good time overall. So autodidactical learning is something I'm really excited about, and having valuable marketable skills that you can be paid for is much more interesting to me than having some sort of certificate of achievement. So the last thing I wanted to do, and I'll end the video on this, I think it's getting a little long, is just open up all of the devices so you can see just how much I've got running here. So I've got to change, I got to open up my meeting controls here and change, or just, can I double click on myself? I cannot. Yeah, there's literally nothing. Oh, okay, I've got to hover on the bar at the top of the screen, click new share, change over to my terminal screen, click share. And now, assuming it actually did that, it looks like it did not, so I'll just do the same thing I did before, but I'll do it again. Oh, I see, okay. It only lets me share, because I have a tabbed, I'm using SolarWinds, just because that's what, I usually use Secure CRT. And Secure CRT is what's going to be used on the exam, but you need a license key for Secure CRT. And I have one at work, but I'm not going to buy one for just using it at home. So I'm just using this SolarWinds. I mean, I'm used to using Secure CRT at work. So, I'll just have advantages when I take the exam, which isn't a big deal. Like if I get used to typing everything out, being really fast on the command line, having basic skills down, memorizing all the commands I need. And from when I get to the exam, I can create things where I check all the routers really quick using a little bit of Python scripts. I can go over that on this channel. So really keeping it bare bones in the lab, but that's just because I'm used to using the tools that are going to be available on the test. And I'm really just going to get advantages from using them there. So that's it. This is the software I'm using. It's called GNS3, and it's called VMX. I actually do need to say more about VMX. So you can just go on Juniper's site, and I'll provide a link in the description, and download VMX. But unfortunately, you will need a license key in order to run advanced features in a certain mode. So I can do show configuration chassis, and you can see I've got this network services enhanced IP, and that's really important because you can't do certain things in Triton mode. So Triton mode is basically just the default mode. This is not Triton mode. But in order to get out of Triton mode, you've got to have that license key. But Juniper will, I think, grant it to anyone. You just might need to call or email a representative and say, I'm working towards this exam. You might need a work email, but I'm sure you can just say, this is a thing I'm doing myself, and they'll approve it. What I did is I gave them my work email. I spoke with a representative on the line, and they gave me a license key that I can use. So just full disclosure there, because I know in my own autodidactical studies for things like these, I would find a teacher online and I would do everything they would do, and then all of a sudden I'd get a closed door, and I wouldn't even realize there was a closed door. I would just think, oh, am I an idiot? Do I not know what I'm doing? Is that why this isn't working? It's like, no, because the teacher had a special key to that closed door and didn't even tell you that the door was there, that you needed the key, let alone how to actually get the key and use the key to open the door. So that's kind of what I'm telling you right now. You can get that trial license. I think it's only good for 90 days, but I'm sure you can renew it. It's just an extra hoop Juniper makes you jump through, but fortunately, they actually do give you that option to use VMX, whereas Cisco, they just flat out say, no, if you're using our images, we can revoke your certs, we can even take you to court. So just jumping through that extra hoop, getting authorization, the license key to use it for 90 days, which I'm sure you can just renew after 90 days, that's a pretty good deal. Another thing you can use is something called Juniper Olive, and that you don't even need a license key at all. I think you can still apply it to it, but you don't need any sort of special permissions or anything to get Juniper Olive. You can just start using that right away. And it's another image that's far more resource intensive than Cisco stuff, but unfortunately, as I explained before, and I'll go back to my GNS3 screen, these routers here, I got the images for through means that are compliant with Cisco standards or Cisco legal circumstances. So that's something you'll have to do as well. And unfortunately, it's just one of those, it's just a locked door that somebody like me, who's the instructor, has a key for, but I'm going to do you a solid here and just tell you that is the case, whereas in a lot of cases, you won't even hear that. You'll wonder, oh, why am I making no progress when this instructor is able to do all this stuff? Well, it's because the instructor has some special access that you'll need to find a way to get access to as well.